Hi, this is Stan Matthews, host of the Matthews TV broadcast and founder of the Inner Circle Professional Network. It takes a village to raise a child and a community to build healthy, wealthy businesses, professional practices, and community organizations. The Matthews TV broadcast enables urban consumers like you to support urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and community organizations that provide career opportunities, create jobs, and make urban communities great places to live, work, and raise a family. So please continue to watch the Whole Person, Whole Community broadcast on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com. And oh yeah, tell 10 friends to watch the broadcast too. Heartfelt thanks for your continued friendship and support. The Matthews TV broadcast spotlights urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and creative artists and enables them to tell their success story and get the new clients, strategic connections, and community support they need to prosper and succeed. With our audience of more than 500,000 subscribers, 500 Inner Circle strategic partners, and the Comcast Xfinity premium promotional channels, including the Oprah Winfrey Network, BET, Lifetime, and the Hallmark Family Network. So step into the spotlight for business success right now and book your spotlight or legacy interview by calling us at 732-357-5701 or booking your reservation at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com.
Hi, I'm Mayor Baraka of Newark, reminding you to shop urban and shop local to save time and money, get a higher level of customer service, create jobs, and build stronger families and communities. Remember to shop urban, shop local, and shop Newark.
Remember to shop urban, shop local, and shop Newark.
Hi everybody, we're back. I'm Jen Montag, your host of Empower Hour Philadelphia, and I am here with Lee Elias, founder and CEO of Game 7 Group, a consulting organization that focuses on coaching, culture, and strategy. Lee, so glad to have you here with us today.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
So glad. Lee, so you believe that a championship culture relies on a total team bond and a one-team philosophy. Can you talk a little bit about the importance of team bonding as it pertains to winning in both sports and in business?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I've been blessed in life to have been able to play sports at a very high level and to have coached sports at a high level. And when you break it down, I found that there's three things that have to be there in order to win. And it's not just limited to sports, as you said. It's business, it's nonprofits, it's healthcare, it's any team environment. And the first two things people tend to know all the time, which is you have to have talent that's comparable to the talent in the room. And then you have to have tactics, because great talent can't overcome bad tactics. And in sports, that's coaching. In business, that's leadership. And I find that's where most people stop. And there's a third equally important thing, and that's the team bond. And the team bond is essentially everyone in the room working together towards a common goal, a common mission, understanding that mission, and then putting everything that they have into that mission to make it work. So when I talk to coaches and business owners and I say the tactics and the talent, they get that. And then I say team bond, and they go, well, that just comes naturally. And I don't believe that to be true. I think some groups are more bonded than other groups. But the truth is, at the end of the day, it needs to be created, it needs to be nurtured. And no two groups are the same. You know, if you had the same team of the same players every year, it's a different team every year. And it's the same thing in the workplace, because life happens, things happen. And my goal with what I do with Game 7 Group is to make sure that that bond is harnessed, created, and then move forward together as a unit.
Talent, tactics, and bond, and team bond. So when you think about, so it's like a synergy, right? It's like you need all three of those things. What happens when one of them is missing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So obviously, if you don't have the talent, you're not going to win a lot of games. Right. So that's why I said it has to be comparable, and that there has to be things in place to make sure that somebody is watching that talent and growing that talent. Tactics is always a funny one, because we always say about coaching that if you're winning the games, you get no credit. If you're losing the games, it's your fault. And that's true of management as well. But good tactics is not just about the X's and the O's or the management strategy or the corporate strategy. It's also about the leadership and the communication and that everything that is involved in that. And I think that that also bleeds into the team bond aspect of this, is that knowing that the person that's leading you is fighting for you and that you're fighting for them. And that the key to everything working is really knowing the person sitting next to you believes in the same things that you do. And you don't even have to like that person to know that they're there for you. And this is, again, this is true in sports and in business, that when everybody's committed to the same thing and that's harnessed, it moves forward to the point. Go ahead. Yeah.
So this is fascinating. So then would you say that team bond is everyone's responsibility?
100%.
Just like culture, right? Fostering the right culture, that's everybody's responsibility.
Absolutely. I'll tell you a quick story.
Please do.
When I was in college, I was a captain. I played ice hockey, okay? And my captain, he was this gigantic man. He was like 6'7" on skates. And I really looked up to him. I was an 18-year-old kid, and he was 22. And it was a playoff game. And they said, what's your job as the captain tonight, as the leader? And he said something that I never forgot. He said, I need everyone on this team to be a captain tonight. It's not just up to me.
Self-leadership.
Absolutely, right? And it is on every person. Now, I think it's also on leadership to make sure that everybody believes in the same thing and that everybody fills in each other's gaps. But at the end of the day, the hierarchy of an organization, whether it's a sports team or a business, everyone is important. Everyone fills a role. And I always tell coaches and managers, make sure they understand their role. Can you imagine coming to work each day and not knowing what your job description was or what your job is?
Can't imagine.
It happens every day, though, right? People show up and I don't know what I'm doing. So in sports or in business, make sure you understand your role, why that role is important to the group, how it corresponds to the group, and make sure they feel like they are part of the group. It's the difference between a job and a career in most cases.
So culture might start from the top down, right? The leader or the head sponsor, executive sponsor, whatever the case may be, it's their responsibility to set the tone, right? They have to support the culture, but then it is ultimately everybody's responsibility to take on, to grab a hold of that vision and to practice self-leadership on a regular basis and engage teammates and that kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. So like, I'll use myself as an example. When organizations bring me in, I tell them what I'm going to create. But the truth is, the players play the games, or the workers do the work. All right, I'm there to create a structure, but it's not me that's making the bond. We all make the bond together. So that's something that's essential. That can come from the top person, or it can come from somebody like me. It can come from the bottom person. I always reference one of my favorite people to work with in an organization, and every organization has this, is someone who maybe works extremely, extremely hard, but might not make the cut. That's always there in sports, and it's there in business as well. But that person sets the gauge for everybody else in the organization. So I want to enable that person to work hard and to reap the rewards, to tell everybody else on the team or the organization, this is what we're striving for. This person's an important part of our team, and you are too. And together we can accomplish things as a group.
That's wonderful. So Lee, you work as a team strategist, as we've been talking about, both in sports, business, healthcare.
Depends on the job. Yeah.
It depends on the job, nonprofits, for-profits. Yeah. Viewers, if you're tuning in right now, we're talking to Lee Elias. He is a team strategist. He deploys a team-based coaching approach to help both businesses, both nonprofits and for-profits, to become more effective, professionally, culturally, etc. What is the unique? What's a unique facet, or what is unique about your strategy, and how has that helped you to realize success in these different organizations that you work for?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's relying on the belief that people do want to be around other people. Whether you're introverted, extroverted, we do want to surround ourselves with other good people. And I think that we always say it's really not the job you do, it's who you're working with, right?
People leave bosses.
Yes.
Right? I think they leave teams, right? They leave co-workers if it's really bad. Not necessarily companies, right? Because companies are made up of human capital.
Absolutely.
It's the human capital that drives the company, and it's the human capital that can drive you out.
Yeah, and you have to invest in that capital.
Totally.
And, as to what makes you unique. What makes you unique, there's a two-step process I always start with, right? One is trust. It's the foundation of everything. And when I go to organizational leaders or coaches and I say, can you define what trust means to you? They have a hard time doing that. It's not always the easiest thing to answer. It's an exercise you can do at home. But can you define trust without using the word trust in the definition? And then the awareness of that's your definition. And everyone on this team has a different definition. So we have to make a communal definition of trust. And then once that foundation is built, it's about motivation. I find that sports coaches and business owners a lot of times make the mistake of thinking, well, everyone's motivated the way I'm motivated. Well, if you were motivated by someone screaming at you to get to the line and do your physicality, that's you. That doesn't necessarily mean everyone on the team is motivated that way. So I inspire leaders, find out what motivates each individual person on your team or managements down the line. That's a 1-2 step to start. Now you know what trust is. Now you know what motivation is. Then teach accountability and understand what that means in the workplace, and that we're all accountable for each other to work or play for the person next to you, and then to truly harness and understand that and to move forward as a group together. And it's not a one-time process. This is something that I use the word nurture on purpose. You have to continually nurture this and provide for the group to make sure that they all feel like they're being heard and understand that and believe in the common mission and the common goal so that you can move forward together.
So tell us more about your approach. You're going into an organization. What are you looking for?
So that's a great question. So I'll actually use the team I've been working with recently at Frankfurt High School football. All right. And we have some players here tonight that I can't wait for you to introduce to the world. But the first time I walked into this locker room, there were rats running around on the floor. This is true. Okay. Concrete floors. There was old equipment on the floor. It was dusty. It was not a great environment. And I was extremely excited to see this. And I remember the head coach of the team was like, what are you excited about? I said, because this is the perfect starting point. You can only go up from here, right? We can rebuild this program. This is what I want people to remember, that this is where we started. Now, if you go in that locker room today, there's rugs on the floor. Frankfurt is painted everywhere. Accountability is on the wall. Everybody has their own stall. Now it's a home. Now it's our house. And the players helped to build this. We had local business owners come in to paint it. The Jari Evans Foundation donated a lot of time and effort to making this happen as well. It was a community effort, and now we have a home. For years, that foundation will be set. So, again, I got excited by seeing this horrendous, literally rat-ridden locker room that now has become a home for our players. That excites me in a weird way.
That's fantastic. So, Lee, your affinity for helping teams succeed crosses over into football. Obviously, your love and your respect for the Jari Evans Foundation is no secret. Lee, viewers, he's graciously donated his time to this tremendous foundation. Talk a little bit about the foundation. Talk a little bit about what you do there.
Sure, absolutely. So when I got to Frankfurt, a little backstory on this is I was speaking to all the PIAA coaches in the state, and the head coach of Frankfurt agreed with what I said. He invited me to come in. And he first told me about Jari and that he's from Frankfurt and that he played in the NFL. And he had a long NFL career, won a Super Bowl, Pro Bowler. You can search him online. There's plenty of accolades for him. Had donated a lot of time and effort and money into this program to help revitalize it, but also to impact the youth, not just at Frankfurt, but the local area. So as someone who is from suburbia and who loves sports, when I saw that, and I wanted to really get into Philadelphia and get involved. I didn't want to just be someone on the sidelines that talks about it.
Yeah.
And when I saw what he was doing with the kids and the way they look up to him, it really became a no-brainer that this is an organization I want to support. This is an organization that needs the platform to tell everybody what they're doing, because it's the next generation of people coming along, that are really going to change things. And there's a great quote about sending the elevator back down once you get to the top. I'm very blessed in my life. I have two wonderful children. I have a wife who I look up to, who's the most powerful force in my world. And I want to make sure that opportunity is out there for other people. And the Jari Evans Foundation really aspires to help the youth build that through sports, but also through health and many other facets of just growing up in the city.
Lee, how can the city of Philadelphia support your work with the Jari Evans Foundation?
Just by visiting JariEvans.com, number one, right? Checking out what they're all about.
JariEvans.com, viewers.
Yeah, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go there. You can learn more about his mission and what he's doing. And then just to be involved. If you're a local business owner or you're part of the community and you want to have an impact on these kids, his venue is a way to have a direct connect to those kids to help them through high school, past high school, and into their lives.
How can viewers lend their support? What kind of support is the foundation looking for? Is it time-based? resources-based? How can we actually get involved?
I don't think they turn away any support. I mean, obviously, from anything from donations to time to things that you can contribute to his programs that are going to enrich the lives of youth, I think they'd be all ears for that.
Wonderful. Viewers out there, we've been talking to Lee Elias, the founder of Game 7, also a critical leader, a volunteer, and advocate for inner city youth. He's vital to the Jari Evans Foundation. We are so grateful to have him here today, and we're so grateful for the work and the vision and the heart of Jari Evans. Lee, thank you so much for being here today.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is Jen Montag, your host of Empower Hour Philadelphia. We are back. I am here with Ellen Valudes, Vice President for Dale Carnegie Philadelphia. Dale Carnegie is a professional training and development organization. Dale Carnegie helps organizations transform other organizations into more effective operations using a 5-step process that dives into a variety of different areas: culture, inclusion, communication, education, training, and more. Ellen, so glad to have you with us today.
It's great to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Ellen, how long have you been Vice President of Philadelphia for Dale Carnegie, and what are you most proud of regarding the work that the organization does?
I've been with them for 17 years, and most proud of, I would say, really, the word that comes to mind is empowerment. So we not only empower businesses to reach their goals, but also individuals to bring out the best in them so that they can reach their personal and professional goals as well. So that's exciting to me.
That's very exciting. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about the Carnegie approach? So I was reading online about Dale Carnegie, very enlightening information, an amazing company with a very long track record of success. They talk about this Carnegie approach, ladies and gentlemen, when working with a new client. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, our approach in working with a new client, in particular an organization, whether it's a small or a medium or even a large size organization, is to really understand them first. What are their objectives, their goals? What's their vision, mission, and what do they value in their organization? And once we're able to understand that, then we can look at, well, what are some solutions that will help them reach that? And when I say solutions, it's always about how do we tap into the talent that they already have, and how do we reveal the creativity, the expertise, and the untapped talent that's within an organization.
So when you dive into an organization, let's say you go through some kind of a fact-finding process, you assess a need, right? And then I'm assuming there is some kind of a change management process that is associated with some of the work that you do, I'm assuming. You're changing behaviors, or you're getting the organization to look at things in a different kind of a way, perhaps. So how do your consultants, how do the company's consultants bring a client or bring a company through a major effort, through a major change effort? What does that Carnegie process include?
Well, it depends on the client.
It depends, viewers.
It depends. It's, again, starting with understanding their intent, their objective, making sure we're speaking with all of the appropriate people that need to weigh in on decisions. And that sometimes means it's not just the person at the top of the organization. So it could be individual meetings or group meetings to understand the culture better, to understand what's the experience that the individuals in the business are going through that isn't always completely apparent to a business owner or a leader on a team. So understanding, then making those recommendations, and then laying out what we would consider like a learning journey. So not just a training event, but what awareness do the individuals that we're going to be working with need to have about why we're engaging in this partnership? How can we best prepare them and get them bought into this experience? And then making sure that we're staying tuned into them throughout the whole process. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on as Dale Carnegie trainers is that we're very participant driven. So we're not slaves to content in the classroom. We're there, and we do have great content, but we want to make sure that we're connecting the dots, that we understand the people in the room, that we're meeting them where they are, that we're helping them understand the tools and techniques that we're offering them and how it connects to them personally in business, how they can apply them to drive business change and improve the performance that they have within the organization. And then it's following through that process to make sure the company or the and the individuals getting the results that they need.
That's wonderful. So for viewers, if you're just now tuning in, this is Jen Montag. I'm your host of Empower Hour Philadelphia. I've been here talking to Ellen Valudes, who is the Vice President of Dale Carnegie Philadelphia. And I'd like to add to this conversation Ms. Karen Jahanian from KMJ Consulting. Karen, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So Karen, I understand that you are a long-term client of Dale Carnegie, and we're excited to have you share just a little bit about your Carnegie experience so that the viewers out there can get kind of a first-hand account of what it's like to be coached and mentored and serviced by such a wonderful organization.
So thank you, Jen. It's really great to be here with you and with Ellen. Ellen is my hero in many regards. My personal experience with Dale Carnegie began about 22 years ago when I was part of another organization, and the organization engaged Dale Carnegie to come and go through the training program with some 30 leaders, 30 managers in the company. And it was powerful for eliminating the silos that can exist in an organization. So it worked for our organization to improve productivity, and also for me personally. So I still am involved with the Dale Carnegie program. And I met Ellen 17 years ago when she first started at Dale Carnegie. My contact there, I guess, had passed their business along to Ellen, and we have been working together ever since. So 17 years, quite a testament for a company that has been around for, close to 100 years. Dale Carnegie did his first training class in 1912.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
over 100 years. And I've had my own company for 20 years, a consulting firm, engineering consulting firm, and all of my staff have gone through the program.
Oh my goodness. So Karen, wow, what a testimony. So viewers out there, Karen Jahanian, founder and CEO of KMJ Consulting, engineering organization that has been utilizing Dale Carnegie Philadelphia for quite a number of years. Karen, if you had to speak to a small business owner out there who is struggling with a culture issue or a human capital issue, some other issue, right, that is company driven, that affects productivity, affects morale, affects engagement, what would you say to them? Why should they set up a consultation, right, with Dale Carnegie Philadelphia?
Every small business has these types of issues at some point in time.
Yep.
And I have seen the most amazing results from my staff. So for each of the individuals who were on my team, who I sent to Dale Carnegie, I asked them to go because I knew they had potential. But sometimes they can't get out of their own way.
Completely.
And they just need to hear from an objective third party, how to tweak their life for success. Mm-hmm. So what Dale Carnegie does is it's an intensive 8-week program. My team members give up, an evening, and I pay for them to attend. There is an accountability. There's a camaraderie of the participants. And there's a responsibility, and the trainer has been in touch with me during the entire time, and I've seen incremental results. And then today I had the great pleasure to say to one of my staff members, who's like a really integral part of my team, who's only been on board for maybe 10 months, said, "You're connecting the dots."
That's
So I'm
awesome.
so happy to see this. And tomorrow evening, around this time, they will graduate. So I have 2 team members who are going to graduate from their Dale Carnegie program tomorrow.
And we all know that when it comes to communication, when it comes to coaching, you have to communicate the same message multiple times for it to really get through, and you've got to use different mediums to do it. And so a direct manager can do it, right? A skip level manager could do it. Sometimes it's effective to use an outside party to do it as well. And every time that employee or that department hears the message, perhaps based on the fact that the sender is different, they can derive something or take something away from it that is unique. And so I think that's the power of using a Dale Carnegie. I really do believe that. Ellen, one final concluding thoughts from you, and also can you just kind of narrow down, can you pinpoint for the viewership out there, who is an ideal client for Dale Carnegie?
Okay. I want to add to what Karen said, because I think what really distinguishes us from a lot of the other training that we might experience out there is that we're not just about helping people make that behavior change. I mean, behavior change is good when it's needed and it affects performance change on the job. But we help people make that emotional change. And that's what's really different, because in the safe and very supportive learning environment of a Dale Carnegie course, we're helping people see themselves differently.
If there's a small business out there that's in need of your expertise, how should they get in contact with you?
They could go to our local Dale Carnegie website, which is philadelphia.dalecarnegie.com. They can also call us directly, 215-222-1010. Philadelphia.dalecarnegie.com. Let's repeat that number one more time for the viewership base. 215-222-1010.
Ellen Valudes, Karen Jehanian. Karen, thank you so much for sharing your story and your unique perspective as a client. Ellen, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mayor Frank Moran of the great city of Camden, reminding you to shop urban and shop local to save time and money, get a higher level of customer service, create jobs, and build stronger families and communities. Remember to shop urban and shop local, shop Camden.
Remember, shop urban, shop local, and shop Camden.
Hi, this is Stan Matthews, host of the Matthews TV broadcast and founder of the Inner Circle Professional Network. It takes a village to raise a child and a community to build healthy, wealthy businesses, professional practices, and community organizations. The Matthews TV broadcast enables urban consumers like you to support urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and community organizations that provide career opportunities, create jobs, and make urban communities great places to live, work, and raise a family. So please continue to watch the Whole Person, Whole Community broadcast on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com. And oh yeah, tell 10 friends to watch the broadcast too. Heartfelt thanks for your continued friendship and support. The Matthews TV broadcast spotlights urban business owners, professionals, nonprofits, and creative artists and enables them to tell their success story and get the new clients, strategic connections, and community support they need to prosper and succeed. With our audience of more than 500,000 subscribers, 500 Inner Circle strategic partners, and the Comcast Xfinity premium promotional channels, including the Oprah Winfrey Network, BET, Lifetime, and the Hallmark Family Network. So step into the spotlight for business success right now and book your spotlight or legacy interview by calling us at 732-357-5701 or booking your reservation at www.thematthewsbroadcast.com.